So, turn on the loudness. I can see and hear you, that's good. Stream started, good. Stream comes over. Okay. Perfect. Hello, good morning and welcome everyone. I hope you feel as good as I am. I slept amazing and I'm ready for today. And we made yesterday some progress. Hey Asraf, nice to see you. I hope you are well. Yeah, we made yesterday a lot of progress already in our onboarding screen, or in Wubi, our Flutter quiz app, or at least a quiz app. We don't know which kind or topic it will contain in the future, but I would like to improve that a bit and also take the learnings that we had from our Google Drive Sheets things. And I want to really do it as a project, so creating myself always small tasks that can be fit and work on, and then solve them and create new things. And I really like how we proceed at the moment and how it worked. So yeah, today I want to go on further with that. Hey Rashi, 7K, nice to see you. I'm not sure if this music is also so loud for you, so I quickly have to adjust that. It's much better for me. Perfect. Yes, so we worked like on a project, we make small steps all the time, we think a lot, I also listen a lot to the community. I will not give you all the answers. I heard yesterday like, hey, you have no idea what you are doing, you just listen to others. And yes, probably I do, but that's fine. I think it's also part of my job to listen to others, and it's also important to understand what they tell you, because mostly other people have good ideas. So how does these streams usually work? I learn a lot, you learn a lot, and in the best case, we learn from each other. And additionally to that, we usually don't stick to a topic very strictly. Today I want to try to change that a bit. So what my suggestion is, and I will try that, is setting up a timer for 1 hour. And, oh, sorry, just a second, the music again. So quickly change that. No. Here we go. So, much better. Okay, great stuff. So yeah, taking small steps, and I want to improve a little bit that we can focus a bit better. And how we can do that? Well, of course, I will answer questions all the time. I think that's important. Also, I will take a look if you have ideas that we should investigate. So I will do also that. But what I thought is I will create a timer, because today I want to really work a little bit, like 4 or 5 hours at a live stream, which I have never done, which is pretty long. And so I thought I will make always 1 hour blocks where we have 1 hour. I will set a timer, then I take a short break, make some sports in between, open up the window. And after that, with a fresh mind, we come back to work further. I hope that's fine for you. And yeah, I would say let's get into it. So let's change into the live scene. I had a problem. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I thought so. So more technical difficulties. Let me quickly check what the HDMI does. So why it's getting green here. Also something new for me. So I think it's better now. So yeah, what did I do since yesterday? Because I was, honestly, I was super happy how we proceed here. And I wanted to improve that even further, because I work a lot with GitHub at the moment. And here we have also the projects section. And I I changed a little bit how we use it and created the projects down here, because that beta thing that they created, it's a little bit messy in my opinion. I don't know, everything is underneath of each other. I didn't like that too much yet, but maybe, yeah, you have options how we can improve that. I'm more a fan of Kanban boards. So I was switching that to the old projects version in the night and added all the different things. What's going on? Somehow it's driving me nuts today. What is the fight? So maybe now it's better. Okay, good. So what I did is changing the project structure a little bit. So adding all these tickets now inside of to do and in progress. This is what we are working currently on. Also what I started is a wiki. So if we have something like frequently asked questions, if you have questions, hey, how do you work in that? Why do you do that? And things like that, I will pass that inside of here. So we have like maybe some collections of knowledge in the future, and we also will do that together. Then, as I said, we have the project now here. Currently, we are working still on the onboarding screen, so we want to make them translatable and also add some additional feature. And we have already our first MR open, so pull request, that will contain the first feature like this onboarding screen. At the moment, we have not so much done besides of some UI stuff, but also constants have been added. And yes, want to work further on that. So how do we can create a new timer 1H, and in Brave usually we get directly this one, and if it's making sounds then it's time for a break. Good. So then I would say let's jump into the project, and I think my image is a bit big, so make that smaller like so. Good stuff. My image is in general a bit big, right, for working here. I hope that was not yesterday too much. Haha. Just have to keep it in mind that there is something. So I know yesterday we used OBS for it, so I hope that problem is, by the way, fixed, because yesterday we had like a lot of issues with streaming at the beginning, so I was very unhappy with that. Wrong keyboard. Make that also a bit smaller here. Maybe not so good during the live stream, so let's do that later, I guess. Nah, I think we should do it now, because else I have it the whole time running. So I put it a bit down. Hey Hamish, nice to see you. You found the way to the stream again. Great. So I hope this time it works better with the live stream and we don't have too much buffering like yesterday. That was pretty bad. Can I not move that? Good stuff. Yeah, I believe I will do that afterwards. It's not so important, but you have the names down there. That's something. Okay, so we are a bit smaller. I hope that works. And with that, correctly, let's run the app maybe. And I think we don't even have to use, no, keep it as it. So. From now, I will be able to join all live stream. Great. So your exams are working well. That's a good thing. Okay, so what did we do? We have the tab controller running now with a single ticket provider. We had to use the real state because unfortunately the animated boxes were only working with the set state part, and we were not able to do that with the context part, like with block pattern in that case. I'm not completely convinced that this is the case. I don't understand why this should be the case, but yeah, so currently it is like it is. So if we move that, we can see after a while these dots moving, which is quite nice, and we cannot click them at the moment. So also that have to be implemented sooner or later. Okay, then we have these actions, and at the moment they don't do anything, so it's just a to-do. And yeah, let's quickly have a look what we have to do next. So first of all, let's open our issue, because else I will do again anything but besides of the real task that we have. So translatable body and headline text. Okay, so in order to make it translatable, I think that sounds like a task that we can easily do on that without too much hesitation. So we have DE and German at the moment, right? And I think they are already translated, aren't they? This is German, this is English. I think they are already in place. Let's have a look where they are used. Nowhere, okay. So in our landing page, we probably have some strings somewhere. And we use already the localizations for that. And that means I can switch the language actually. So at the moment we have instant notification, quick quizzes and things like that. So let's switch quickly to the settings and let's switch our language, iPhone language to, I only added for now German and English. So let's switch quickly to German. Hello Rupak, nice to see you. Hope you are well. So if we join now this NVUBI part, now we have it in German. Great stuff. So hopefully you can't read it anymore. But I see right now in the translation that sign in and register is still wrong. So probably sign in and register are not localized. So we can take that from localizations dot, and we have to create that. So back to the drawing board, don't change that yet. But in English, we have now the same thing like here, and we use the main landing body step 3, and this will be now sign in. And we would use, so, and this would be register. Up here we have sign in, register. Fair enough. And now we can use them to add them also to German. Einloggen und registrieren. Why is German always a good option as a why is German always a very good option to test your language strings? Because German is very long compared to English. So that means with we will see that in the future, but most of the things that you write in English are way shorter, like quick quizzes and easy quizzes, schnelle und einfache Quizze, which is quite long compared, right? So yeah. So let's replace that localization dot. It's not built yet, so probably I have to run the app once more. Because with that, the build runner is getting triggered, I believe. Unexpected character at line 9. Okay. So do we have, this is there. Sign in at line 9. Aha, here's the comma missing. Okay, fair enough. So run the whole thing. There are some questions in chat. Fantastic. Were we using block builder? No, we did not. And that was maybe the mistake. I thought about that also this morning. So maybe we should change that. But we anyway need the single ticker provider. And I think it needs to be stateful with a single ticker provider. But I could be wrong, but I believe so. Yeah, I thought exactly the same thing, Hamish. Very good. So we are on the same side there. How can I show loading progress indicator in circle avatar while image loading from server? If the image is not there yet, there are fantastic packages for that, which you can use. I believe if we go to pub.dev, what was the package that we used? Image loading. Maybe we find it directly with that. There was a very cool shimmer. Shimmer would be one option, for example. Then you get this shimmer effect that you can show. But there is also exactly for image loading that I don't have in mind anymore. Was it something with blur? Blur image or something? No, blur is just to blur images. That's not it. Drop shadow, another flash bar. I made a video about that. Damn. Yeah, I don't remember anymore. Sorry. So what do we have else? But in general, what you can do is you can just replace it. You know, if you take the circle loading indicator, which we have, you can just replace it if the image is loaded. So that would be one option. Mahid Hassan, great to see you. I'm very good. I had a very perfect start in the day. Cache network image, also a good option. Perfect idea, Asraf. So one question, I don't know German, but I want to add its localization. So how can I do that? That's very easy, actually. If you don't know German, there are packages like DeepL, for example. The DeepL translator is really good, honestly. It's not perfect. And yes, you will not get the perfect German language for everything. But if I take now this one, And let's see. Yeah, exactly. So this website DeepL is quite perfect for such parts, to have easy translations running. So that's not it. Maybe this live chat. Yeah, well. So feel free to try that. But there's also Google Translate and things like that. Google Translate is a bit weaker than DeepL, I would say. So I would not recommend to use the Google Translate for real translations. Okay, got it. So we have that. We added the translations here. We built again. So warning is not supported by all its local delegates. Okay. It should be. Warning, this application's local DE is not supported by all delegates. Okay. App delegate, I thought that should be inside. And DE is inside. Okay, anyway, let's try to use it because I'm pretty sure it should work. So localization.domain, this is sign in. It's reddish, why? Because it cannot be a const probably. Yeah, fair enough. And the same thing happens with the register part. And also that cannot be a const. And adding here some kommata, perfect. Good, now also that is translated like einloggen and register. So we have also there the translation happening. So we can commit that. Feature, enable translation on the landing page. Pushing the whole thing, and with that we can go into our task and check that one, because that was an easy one, so I wanted to have that first. So switching to settings again, but the issue is they are not 100% reliable. That is completely true. What you can do if you want to have 100% reliability, you can take money into your hand and pay people who will cross-read your language stuff. You can even send them a page like this ARP file, for example. You can send that to professional translators and they will do that for you. There are also pages that offer them, like Phrase or Localize or things like that, where you can also have directly this set inside where people can help you. And what I wanted to do also, because I find it more annoying that it helps me, is plugins. At the moment, good old GitHub Copilot is annoying me quite well. There's just too much stuff going on in my source code actually, and I don't really like that. Yep, that's maybe a very good idea for the wiki page that you asked right now, Hamish, because the naming convention that I use is domain. This is like the space where we are. So domain means we are in the... Wait, why do we have domain? I think domain makes no sense actually. So I left that there. So it would be something where the problem appears, what is the thing that is solved, and at the end you have the translation that happens. So usually what happens in other projects, or if you are working with JavaScript, you create like where you are in the screen, like landing, then you would have like an object inside, and this object has then its own translations again and things like that. And then you could have like a register, and in register you have then registrieren, something like that. So we could also do that here probably, not quite sure. But and if you create that now, what I believe is, if this is possible, we can also do that. I would like that more, I guess. So that means if we have there an object, and inside here we would have register. So something like that. Can we do that? So if I rebuild the whole thing, can I go to here? Generating the package failed. The value landing is not a string. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so we cannot do that. Great stuff. So, and because we cannot create such nested parts, sorry, Okay, so sorry for that. Exactly, so we cannot subnest these things. So that's meaning we have to do that always with that. And I subpart that more or less with these 3 words. So it's the domain where I am. Actually, that should be landing in my opinion. So probably we have to rename that part. So it would be the landing screen. Or what? No, better. It's not landing, it's authentication, right? Because we have said that our domain is the authentication, and short for authent is auth. Then we have the landing, which is the screen itself, so it gives more context. And then inside of this screen, we have the multiple parts here. And if we have that, we could then also say something like common underscore, I don't know, okay. So that means we have a general part of it and the word is okay that we want to translate or things like that. But yes, it's not perfect yet, but let's see. Maybe we find better options here. But at the moment, I think it's pretty okay-ish. And because the translation files anyway are just one blob that nobody really care about, I think that's perfectly fine. Does make sense? I hope so. So yeah, I think that we can commit actually, that we remove this domain without. I think that makes more sense. And yep. Copy them, getting them over, and done. And then this is refactor. Updated the domain of the translation files. Good point. Thank you very much, Hamish. Okay. Then we have that, we have Alt10N, we have the translation. Okay, we have made the translation done. So first checkbox, we did something, great stuff. Okay, next thing. Callable on click of the dots to make navigate to a specific tab view. All right, what does this mean? I would like to click on the 3rd button and navigate to this part here. And I want to click on the first one to come to that one. But the problem with that is I think we should not even consider doing that actually, because it is just an indication where you are. If you make this clickable, the problem with that is your my thick thumb would not fit one of the dots. So I would never know which one I selected. So I actually wouldn't like to avoid doing that. So after I thought about it, I believe here I would really go and take that away and would reason about it, because I think that's not a good idea. So how can we cross something out? I think to cross something, I need to make this nice little waves. Is it this wave or is it this wave? I believe it's this wave. And with that, we crossed it. And the reason for it, removed the feature because it is not good user experience to press these buttons. Thumb is too thick. Yeah, thick. Why not? I think that makes sense, right? Yeah, other apps do it, but I think also this is not really a good experience, right? It feels sluggish somehow. So, update. That would mean this one and this one is more or less done, because both features would be not done, or would not be sufficiently doing. So get it rid of. Also here we need our wave. But if we want to have it, feel free to add another feature request then to the project. That's just what I currently would say is not that important. Also, what I wanted to say, what I completely forgot, is I would like to create also MVP for the next time, so that we really create just a very minimal project that we can do. Make it more smooth between the different screens. Oh, now I forgot to add the explanation into it. Oh no. I destroyed it. I'm stupid. Okay. How can I do that? Can remove that. And add something like, okay, removed from version or from current task, because it is not really user friendly and is more an indication. Okay, but the last one is very interesting. Make it more smooth between different screens and align the dots to it. And I thought about that the whole night, honestly. So what we have is we have the offset that we get from the page view between the three screens, right? If I navigate here, there is like a subset between the two. What does that mean? If we go here to the controller, we have the offset. We heard yesterday about that. And this offset, if we take a look into the description here, offset, then we can see, navigate please, yes, here. The difference between the animations value and the index. So that means we have 0, 1, 2, and this one is now 0.5 or something. Yes, exactly. So, but we have to calculate that, right, Amish? And then always repeat that more or less. So whenever this value changes, and we have to listen to that somehow, then we will have to do something. So it is a getter on the animation controller value. So whenever, this property is typically set by the tab var when the user drags left or right. A value between 0 and 1, minus 1 and 0 implies that the tab bar view has been dragged to the left. Similar, a value between 0 and 1 implies that the tab view has been dragged to the right. Okay, the question is do we have the option to make a stream out of it? Animate 2 offset index is changing. This value is true during the animation 2 animation. Animate 2, okay. Previous index. So we need some kind of listener to that offset, and I'm not sure if this is existent. Tab controller, animation controller. So what can we do to find out? We Google for it. Hey Ambresh, nice to see you. Or we can animate using the offset and not by controllers. We can try all of that, but that's a good question. So you say we can, yes. So at the moment we use for the animation part. So where are the animations? I have that in a for loop somewhere, but here. So we have this progress indicator dots. And inside of them, let me scroll up a bit. So inside of them, we have the reference page index, which is always I. And we have the controller index, which gives us a full value. The problem is that we have to get or update that more frequently than just once. So as you know, we get that once. So, but the offset would not necessarily help us, right? Because I don't think that it's getting multiple times updated, or? So if I would say we gave inside here the offset, which is of course a double instead of an int, so we can change that here. It would be a double. The question would be now, can we print that for now? Just to see what is inside. And for that, we rebuild quickly. Oh, the first, no, we built it already. Why is it so slow? No, sorry everyone. Let's wait. Oh, crash. Interesting. Flutter gen localization problem, okay. Request but need not have extension with identifier. Error getting isn't defined in the class applications. What? Okay. So now we get a lot of problems here. That's interesting. So let us do a Flutter clean just in case. I hope I did not destroy anything for the translations. Okay, now let's get and build again. They are all out. It could be that the translation files in the background were getting a bit shaken because the we changed it from domain to out. No, it's still crashing. Interesting. Could not build the application in the simulator. Okay. Isn't defined in application. Try correcting the name. Domain. Ah, I'm stupid. Okay, got it. So the problem is, of course, we don't have domain anymore as a name here. So we have to quickly select all of them like that. And what we have to do is writing now auth. Great stuff. That worked perfectly well. Good. And probably that's it already. Thank you, Hamish. Yep, got it. So now it's slow because we made Flutter clean, right? Which removes all the build containers. So it takes a second. Good stuff. We build it. Cool. Okay, so what numbers do we get? We get now not regularly, like in the dragging process, we don't really get the information. It's only when we lose the like if we skip and leave the button out. Not really usable. Okay, so we tried that. No, that's correct. We need to go to the error. That would be index at the moment. So another thing that we could do if we don't want to change too much at the moment, we could try to create, instead of add listener, we would see if we can somehow make a stream out of it. But I don't think that there is something that provides that with us, right? Index is changing, Boolean, previous index has listener. There's a lot of voids and nothing to do. Okay. What could we do? And why is the listener not working as I expected? Register a closure to be called when the object changes. If the given closure is already registered and the additional instance is added and must be removed. Okay. Oh, we have to remove that. Haha, very good to know. That means we need a dispose method. And in this dispose method, we have to say controller.dispose. Never forget that, else you will have runtime or memory leaks. Yeah, but the qubit will not necessarily help us, right? The problem is that the offset doesn't give you the information when it will change. So we need to get some possibility for that. And slowly I get the feeling that we maybe cannot do it. Not with the tab controller. Tab controller, listen to offset. Maybe I should add Flutter. The index to changes in the tab bar view. Okay, that's something else. Could we add a stream for that? And if so, how would that be possible? Like controller dot offset is the value. I can set the offset, which is weird. So this is also a setter at the end. So we have a getter. Animation controller dot value index to double. That's a bit unlucky. Why is that not possible? The offset brings us directly the value. So inside of here, I don't get the info, right? So if I just write the offset, like controller.offset, then this shouldn't be doable. We don't get any info. Now it ignores it completely because probably have to restart. Yeah, no, we get always 0. So it's always the end value. Can I listen to that or something? No, it's just a number, right? Could create an own stream, or we have to implement a tab controller ourselves. So all of that is not really a good solution. Interesting. So how would other people do it? So let's go to pub.dev quickly and search for onboarding, because I'm pretty sure other people have also created fantastic widgets for that, like this one. But it's also very not really animated, right? It looks more sketchy. But let's have a look. So lib, how did you do it? You created source, views, utils. He painted everything, that's fine. Fractional translation, offset, single page, scroll percentage, drag percentage, divided by 1. Okay, and where does the onboarding page be used? Maybe in main. Onboarding. Create state. State widget. Drag start percentage, net drag start, animation controller. Okay, they really calculate everything themselves, like widget start, page index, widget pages length. Widget start index, okay, this is where we are. Putting the animation controller in place, makes sense. Animation controller at listenable. Yeah, and then they created the animation completely themselves. Huh. But I think to recreate all of that would be too much hassle for our project, actually. So I'm not completely convinced that this is useful. I mean, we can do it, but I don't really like that. Another option is, in the first place, we used that tab view the last time. And I said already that maybe the page view is still the better option. So let's have a look. We have this, what was it? Page tab view? No, page view. Builder, custom, builder, custom. Was it a page view? I'm not completely sure anymore. Creates a scrollable list that works page by page from explicit list of widget. This constructor is appropriate for page views with small number of children because constructing a list requires doing work for every child that could possibly be displayed in the page view instead of just those. Makes sense. So all of the views will be built directly. So then we have the page controller in this case, and I believe we get with the page controller more control over it, right? How does it look? Do we have their options? Get page, animate to page, animate to, jump to, next page, previous, create, attach, page metrics, min, scroll, extend, things like that. It's just an idea. I'm currently in the experiment phase. So just having a look, like we have then a page controller again. We could do the same thing actually, like page controller. And I think the initial page would be, do we have not to set necessarily? We don't keep the page viewport, it's all good. When something happens, we set the state, that makes sense. And we have some error because we don't get the index anymore. It's now the page. Don't we get the page? It's a double page. Because we don't get any more just full numbers. The page is already with the fractional. Perfect. The current page displayed in the control page view. There are circumstances that the page controller can't know the current page. Reading page will throw an assertion error. Okay. No page is current, blah, blah. But what we could do then is just making an integer out of it, like int.parse, and saying we take the controller.page. Something like that. No? Why is it not possible? The argument type can't be assigned to the parameter type string. Okay, it needs to be a string for that. So we need to round that somehow into an integer. So what do we do? If we don't know the answer, we Google for it, right? So parse double to int. Not in Java, please in Dart. So what do we see here? Thanks to Vola. X to int. That was too easy. So if we have that, then dot to int. Not possible. Why? It could be null, that's true. So what we have to do is probably doing something like that and 0, something like that. Just to make sure that there is always a number that it can show. Tab controller is not subtype of page controller function result. That's true. Let's recreate the whole thing quickly. Thank you, Hamish. Sometimes the easiest parts don't remember or I can't remember myself the easiest parts. So position is not empty. Okay, what's that? Page controller page cannot be accessed before page view is built with it. Okay, so we are too early to show here something. Can I not just build that down here? I mean, I don't have to wait. And we are not late anymore. Something like that. But still it will be probably not possible. Let's see. Yeah, okay, fair enough. 500 errors, geez. Position is not empty. Page controller page cannot be accessed. So this is not possible. But what I can do... Hey, Flutter, great to see you. So, but what I can do, I can take that up and say, for now, we remove that. And say 0. Go up here and say whenever the init state is done, we get the page controller, and here we have also another state, and the state is an integer of the page number or current page. So, and we set the state here, the current page is all at the beginning 0. Fair enough. And whenever we change the page, we go to current page, current page dot equals the trip controller dot page to int. So he's not happy, trying to call using question mark. That's true. If this is then we can say again, if this is 0, we say it's 0. Good stuff. That looks much better. Okay. Does it still navigate? No, because we don't use the current page at the moment. It's always 0, right? So searching the 0 down here. Here we go. And with that, we should be able to animate already. Perfect. But now we need to somehow make it possible to calculate things. Hi everybody, well, on the road of the red screen of death. True, AB, nice to see you. So you are at the perfect timing, you are here. Okay, so, but that's much better. And why is it much better? Because I believe now with that we get print controller.page, and I believe if we listen to that, we see a bit more calculations. No. Okay, so it's not there yet. So can we listen to controller dot, can we listen to that change? Initial scroll offset makes sense. Position, scroll positions, has listener. Animate to attach. Create scroll position, debug, fill, detach, jump to, next page, notify listener, previous page, remove listener. Do we really have to do it ourselves? It's really, I can't imagine that this is true, honestly. And it feels also that we are so slow and so late, more or less. That's also the problem for me. So the current page, it's nice that it's animated, but it feels like it's very... sometimes it's faster, sometimes it's slower. It seems that in one direction it's pretty fast, in the other direction it's slow. Like if we go to the front, it's slower than if we go back. Why is this the case? Oh, thank you, AB. Good idea. By the way, is ZR German? No, ZR is something else. DE is German, like DE. Or do you mean ZA per se? No, that's also wrong. Very good point, AB. I will do that, obviously. So log is better than not logarithm, but this one. And then we can just enter here something. Much better idea. Okay, but still that doesn't change the problem, right? The add listener seems to be interesting. So log page needs to be a string. What? Yeah, now don't complain too much. Make that this way and fair enough. Oh, eh? Didn't we try that a second ago and we did not get all the values in between? Was it really because of console log? No, that cannot be, or that would be wrong. Hey Flutter. So what I'm doing, I'm still working on the onboarding screen. If you would like to follow down in the video description, I added today the project and everything that is besides of it, what we want to do with the tasks and what we want to do to reach version 1.0. So feel free to check out what exactly we do, and I step by step try to create things. And at the moment, we have a very basic task actually. We have these 3 dots down here and they look pretty smooth in one direction, but not in the other. And I believe now that this is a problem of the toInt method, because I believe if we do that, we round always down. That means we have 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and then suddenly 1. And on the other one, we have like 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. You know, we round in the wrong direction. Or better, we round not perfectly. I think if we would do it like if you are below 5, then go in one direction. If you are higher than 5, you go in the other. So that is what I believe. And so instead of using toInt, what do we? toInt truncates the num to an integer and returns the result of int. So to read that, let's make a log again. Plus current page. No, didn't work, sad. So, and now what do we get? Remove that one for now, that we don't see too much. I have to make this toInt part, right? So this needs to be here and all inside. So 2, 2, 2. How can it be floating arrows? Great stuff. So don't do it in here, but maybe here. Eh? How can it be something in between? So page controller page is something, and then we say toInt, and toInt truncates it to int. Ah, yeah, perfect. So you can see we have a lot of zeros and then a 1. And I think if we do it the other way around, we have directly a lot of zeros. So I think that's why it is smooth in one direction, but not so smooth in the other. So how can we make it smoothen? We have to round it. And so we need math, and I believe, is it seal or something? No, I hear we don't need that. What is seal? 1 dot is 2, 2 dot is 2, and this one is 3. That would be not what I want. Returns the least integer that is smaller than its number. No. So what do we have else? It's not seal. Absolute would be maybe not. No, absolute would not seal to double clamp. Compare floor. I think floor was the name. Sorry, now my English problems come up. So 1 is 1. That's wrong. So what I want to do is flooring it from 1 to 5. It would be go down to 1, and everything above 1.5 is 2. Does it make sense? So, and if you have a good name, I'm pretty sure there is a function that does that. I'm just searching for it. Floor to double remainder. Never heard. Round. Round sounds good. Runden in German. 3, 3, 4. Perfect. Exactly what I need. Great stuff. So do that, update, don't do that, and do here round. And then we don't even need to int. No, restart it quickly, and now let's see what happens. Oh, look at that. Smooth. So all the discussion yesterday about page view and the other view, now it's done. So we use page view. Good. I think that is actually exactly what we want, right? That looks pretty good. Cool. So then add the feature again. Let me think quickly. Uh-oh. Is the internet gone? No. Oh, fair enough. Sorry, that was a lag in my screen. Thank you, AB. Party! Good, the feature added. So we rounded, replaced the tab view with a page view to get the offset values as a stream of data, not only single numbers. With that, we were able to make the indications or progress page indications smooth as butter. Especially the butter part, it's important. So unused import, that's true. We don't need that. I hope we don't have any logs. Perfect. So commit, push. So, and now I have to take a look into my pile of shame, because I believe we have solved now the next part here. Jump into the issue. And I think we made this now a bit more smooth. That's good. And with that, we actually have finished our first MR. Now comes the pile of shame that I wanted to tell you, because if we go to, where is it? This one. Better I don't tick that off here, but more here. But what we can see is our build pipelines are crashing. And the reason is we have the necessity to have 100% testing coverage because of the very good CLI. Now we have two options. We reduce that, which would be very bad, or we do the testing. So the next couple of hours, we will probably have a look into testing. Okay, let's see. We have still 12 minutes left. That's good. I think for that, we can at least try to start with something. Let's write tests. Exactly. Perfect. This is the motivation that we need. So, but first, let's have a look. Oh, some notifications. Okay, just clean them. Don't need them at the moment. This can be gone. Great stuff. So, how do we write tests? So first of all, what we can do is execute Flutter test in the CLI, just to see how much failing tests we have actually. If we have even failing tests, if we have even tests. It's quite slow. Why is it so slow today? Ah, yeah, okay, great. It was just the first time executions. Good. Oh, and we have to-dos inside. He don't like them too. Interesting. Okay, so we have to think about these to-dos if we want, because we cannot keep them in the code. We could remove them just for now. No. Yes. No. Yes. Perfect. Okay. Just keep it like that. Do I like that? Not necessarily. But okay. Just making the compiler now happy. But actually I would like to have them. Or we have a solution. What we can do is maybe create already like dummy pages for that. That's maybe an idea. So that means we have in authentication a folder with 2 dummy files, like, creating a new file, which we call login or sign in. Login page. I like a login. .dart, which is then a stateless widget for now, login page. We import the good old material for now. And we do the same thing for the register page, .dart. Also here a stateless widget, which we call register page and import that. So, and what I want to do is navigate to it. That's actually everything that we should do for now, right? Inside of these parts, we want navigate to, this is login, and the other one should navigate to register. Good, how can we do that? Inside of the login, we could write now everything, right? There's navigation controller, blah, 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 and try to navigate them. But I think what we should do is using a package. As far as I know, there are a lot of good navigator packages, and we should use one of them. What does the sa you speak means? You mean so? I don't know. Never spoke sa, hopefully. Or zack, that means like doing it instantly or something like that. Okay, yeah, package for navigation. So, exactly. So for that, we use Beamer, I guess. I don't know. I don't know any routing package. I just heard there are a lot of them and some of them are better than others. So what do we have? Is that good? Navigating back, forward, up, quick start. Material router, beam page. Pop to name, title. But that makes up a new whole problematic thing. You know what? Before we start with that, I want to write the tests now finally, because else I get a very bad feeling on that. So what I will do is for now, we really just remove the to-dos. Make it as small, because the problem is if I do open that whole topic now, we are not focused anymore. So we cannot write the tests and we will never get this MR inside. So remove the to-dos for now, and we'll work on a future PR on it. So why do I always be so descriptive with my Git? If you didn't know it, you can go here on the right side and click on a node with git blame. And then you see whoever created this stuff. So you see it's my name on it. And if I click on it, you can see even the commit message that happened. And a good part of it is that you can, with that, see and understand who was thinking what in that situation. And now you can say, okay, I can't read it here very well, but you can do it down here and also have all the infos, which is quite good to have. Also, of course, in Git, you have the additional possibilities there. Good, now we have done that. A lot of speaking. We removed the to-dos and pushed the whole thing. I think it's not really a feature, right? It was more. Anyway. So, what do we get now? Then the analyze should be fine and the run tests run with the coverage will fail probably. So, see that. Good stuff. Auto route navigator packages. So you think our auto route is better than Beamer? All right. Can do that later. Auto route is the name, right? Yeah, it looks better. Fair enough. It has a blue things in the logo. Is it more complicated? Routes, auto route, and there is just the stuff inside. This is the initial page. Oh, that looks quite easy actually. Cupertino adaptive route, okay. Using part builder, new in version 3, okay. Yeah, I think that looks a bit easier. Context router pop until, great stuff. Good stuff. So if we have to add the navigation, and we can add that here as a ticket, right? Feature, like I as a user want to navigate to the register/login screen. So going here, creating an issue out of it, and we need to handle navigation in our app. And for that, we need some kind of package support. The community. Yeah, I know, but Navigator 2.0 is pretty heavy to use, so I'm pretty unhappy to use it. So I try to use a package for that. So, and with that, auto route, exactly. So, package support. Start Flutter was recommending us auto route. Great stuff. So let's do that right. No, not this way. Like that. Auto route. The tasks will be more acceptance criteria. So you see, I really try to make it as project-like as possible so that everyone knows what to do. So creating, yeah, add the auto route package. What else do we need to do? It would mean that navigate to login should be possible. Navigate to register should be possible. And I would say the screens are not part of it. So this task would be just to create these things. So that would mean that we need some kind, or I think it makes sense to add them to that, right? That we make also the screens visible here. Or we create an own issue that tells us that we want to have login and feature. Or better, UI, UX, nah, don't do that. Okay, create a login page. I, as a user, want to log in into our application. And for that, we need some login page. It should consist out of email, password, but also like authentication providers, like Google, Facebook, whatever. I don't like Facebook, so they take something else. Google login, and what is the other one? Google login and I don't know, GitHub login, because we are cool. So something like that. And that would mean we have to need the possibility use Firebase for that. Services for that. I believe Firebase has, or Firestore has a package like for the login screen. Use Firestore login page. Not quite sure if there is one, but I had that in my head that there is something inside. So we can use that. And good. After login, navigate to the main, or yeah, the quiz page. Good. Then we have the register page, right? Create register page. In order to get our users, or I as a user want to register to our service. For that, we need a register screen. Acceptance criteria. Up. Create a page for registration. Support of Firebase and support for third-party authentication services. So oh, I stopped it. How can we create branch from a branch on GitHub like we do on Git? GitHub is actually just a tool for Git, right? It's the top level on it. So if you want to create a branch, you can go here to view all branches, and probably could, can you cut a branch from here? Not even sure, honestly. Wait, it should be possible. We have main. Add file, no. Is it not possible to create a branch from here? Interesting. I know that it works on GitLab, actually. I never tried. Find or create a branch. I can just create it here. So if I enter something like a new branch, oh yeah, then it will, okay, then it will add the create branch from it. So if you create a branch like that, this is possible. But what I more recommend you is if you have an issue that you want to fix and that you want to work on, you can click on something and then you can just click on create a branch down here. And then it will create a branch for you directly with a good name. And then you can directly use that and check it out and things like that. So, good. Create onboarding. So everything was red, right? Check the coverage. Okay, now we are here again. So we created these different features in between. So now we know more what we want to have in the future. Can reload here. Good. Where are our cards? Perfect. So adding them. Create register page would be more important than the navigation actually, because we need first the pages to navigate to, right? This part is pretty low. It's just documentation stuff. Authentication with bus is probably, well, part of these two stories. So I would say it is duplicated. So what I would do is, okay, I didn't write that. So what I will do is duplicate it by, or how do you call it if it's not needed anymore? Unnecessary, like not needed anymore because of hash create login page and hash 10. Cool, close with comment. So with that, it's gone. Then our project is a bit more clean. Everyone understands what happens. Good. I think this one is then done. Can be gone. Or better, done, or yeah. Why not? Let's keep it done for now. So then we have that. Documentation contribute section add readme would be part of... actually, it's a part of this one. But this is a merge request. What? Did we not merge that? I thought we did. Because the pipeline was red. So we need first to fix the other part. Okay, fair enough. So currently our pipeline on main is red, which should never be the case, but well, today is everything different. So create a screen to make it possible to solve quizzes. Good. I think create a screen to make that possible would be something. Create a screen to make it possible. I as a user want to create quizzes in the app. Okay, so one of them is to solve quizzes. Okay, I think this one is more important. Good. So some project management. Sorry for that. Hopefully we will not do that too often. Good, then let's have a look. Now inside of our testing, we got an error in our MR or PR. That would be this one. And what was the problem? Is less than coverage of 100%. Okay, so we have some code that is not tested on the different lanes. And now let's start with the onboarding step 44. I think that is one of the easiest parts. So we want to test that. So how can we do that? If we press Command Shift T, we can see there is no test subject yet. So what I want to do, and I will do that usually in all my projects, I keep the structure. So inside this onboarding steps, by the way, belongs to the landing screen. So it's also important, like keeping the structure correct, right? And we could name that also widgets, but that's fine. Pop. Moved the onboarding steps to a subfolder. Good, gone. With that, we are here clean. This is done. So app view. So now inside of app, we create a new folder called authentication. And I believe we should make that short, right? I think authentication is too long. I mean, out is also the same thing and we all know what it is, right? So here we have some errors now because of the imports, probably. Import this one and import this one. Good. And in the app we have the same problem. So, and now inside we have the test, we have the view. This one is broken, same problem probably. Yep. Good. So in out we have then our landing screen, landing page test.dart. It's not a dot, it's now an underscore. Cool. And with that, if we have such a file that is aligned to this file, we can press Command-Shift-T and jump between the test, the subject and the real test. So that makes us a bit faster in jumping between the different files. So here in out, we create, by the way, I have the key drawer missed. Jeez. So, don't know if it's white better or black, whatever you like more, but fine. So, and now inside of here, we have the landing page again as a folder. And here we find, for example, the onboarding steps. Test.dart. Good. So then let's see, how do we write tests? Long time ago, void main. So I really enjoy writing tests usually in Dart, but it is a long time ago that I have not done it. So please bear with me if I don't do it correctly at the first place. Good. So we have the onboarding steps. What is the problem? What do we need to test here actually? We could create the onboarding slide, which is also interesting. The name does not match the file. That's not good. Onboarding slide, much better. Going to the test again and also rename that here. Good. Okay, and I removed that file for now because we want to focus for now on this one. So again, we have a lot of refactor, renaming the files and cleaned the project. Good. So now, what should we test? We want to create the whole part here and see different things. Like we have this if part here. That means there is some stuff that is not visible from time to time. Also, what we could test is that there is always a headline text and a body text. So we could make it widget tests actually. And we have a theme that we use, so also that needs to be provided. So we need some kind of wrapper surrounding it. Okay, so let's see how we can test that. First creating new ticket. So how was it? Did that not? No, we have group and test, but I thought the standard group, no? Interesting. Don't we have some support here? Dart in the editor. Color scheme, code style, live templates down there. Don't we have in Dart some test parts or in Flutter? New variable, use variable, hook. Do we have something about test? Interesting. Okay, we don't have them. That's pretty bad. Quickly checking the time again. Okay, what I will do now, because I said how I want to fix Sade today a little bit, I will quickly make a break. So that means I take a coffee and I make some sports, and yeah. So we'll be back in like 5 minutes or something, or 50, yeah, let's say 5 minutes and I'll be, or 10 minutes and I'm back at 10:25 today. Okay, see you in a bit. So you tried to branch out. So if we take a look here, you can see it's branching out from main. So you can see where it comes from. To see it in here? Good question. I doubt it. I doubt it. What you can do is you press dot. If you'll be here on the code page, press dot. Then it will open up the web editor from GitHub. And I believe you can use the source control here then. And you can, you can see anything here? I'm not even sure, honestly. Oh, you have even the pull requests here. That's interesting. Huh, maybe I should get started to use more and more Visual Studio. Can you install even packages? Interesting. Git Lens is such a tool, I believe, to make that visible. No? Huh. Was not able to find it, sadly. Okay. Yeah, but something like that would be maybe an option then. But in general, I would recommend you to just do it locally and then push it back up to the server. Like, for example, if you go to IntelliJ, you can create a branch by going to branches. You take the branch that you want to branch off from. So, for example, main. Then you can say new branch from main. And then you say test or something. Whoops, now I was a bit too fast. 7, chuck, new branch, test. And then you can just say, okay, like this branch is now, you just push it up. And with Command-Shift-K, you come then to this part where you say origin test, and then you push it where you need it. And that's it. Because at the end, Git is just the tool that you use underneath of it. And yeah, so you can use that exactly the same way. So if I would create a branch, or if I would need to create a branch, I would always go via the IDE. So, going to the right branch again, sorry. Okay, so I made some sport. I have a new coffee. I have water at my place. That's all very important. I hope you made also a good break. And now we want to start with testing. So, how do I proceed with that? First of all, we have to find out how to write tests again in Flutter. Because as I said, I am not currently at the top of my game what Flutter development means. So we have to take a look here. Let's see what we get. Test. Testing Flutter apps, perfect. So we have all these different things, unit, widget, and integration tests. I want to start now with some smaller tests. So let's see, introduction to widget tests. Widget test is not necessarily what I want. So let's start with that. Oh, they recommend Mockito, interesting, nice. But I think we have a widget test. Let me quickly think. Onboarding. Let's see first what is exactly failing. And for that, we jump here. What is the command that actually drops that error? Very good check code quality run. Very good coverage v1. Okay, this is a call that is done in GitLab Actions, sadly. So we cannot do that locally, I guess. But what we can do is we can execute our test with coverage. Let me quickly check if I can create such. We have that even, so perfect. And I can use that one. And maybe this gives us already all the insights that we need. So how much is it tested? If we go to the onboarding part, right, that is flying onto our edges, it says 100%. No, it doesn't. It says 49%. All of that is tested, but this part not. So this if case is not tested. So then we need widget tests. We want to create that widget, and sometimes the body text is empty and sometimes it is there. So inside of here, we need to have widget tests. So let's see, an introduction, good. We have the widget, create a test widget test. So it's a test widgets test that we want. And what I will do is I will create a live template directly because it will not be the last test that I write. So inside of the live templates, I go to Dart because these files are Dart files. And inside of here, we make this plus icon, say live template group, no, live template. And we say this is now test widget. Or what is the name? Test widget. So T is test widget. Create a test widget, a Flutter test, widget test. So template is, we want to have that, and then we want to have some kind of description. Afterwards we have a method, and that's like that, right? No, not completely. There is the widget tester part. So this part is also always the same. You can also add that, and it will be asynchronous. Okay. And now we need some kind of variable that happens here, right? Because this, let's have a look how they do it. Yeah, okay. Like this. And then this is a test description. Now we can say edit variable, and we can see the default value is just an empty string. Can remove that, and that's it. Apply. The context that we need is Dart. Java, HTML, ECMAScript, Dart. Fair enough. Apply. Expand with tabs. We don't need that. Reformat according to style. Good. So, and with that, we can now say test widget, blab. And now we can start writing into it. It seems that our default value did not work. So take that, put that inside. And with that, test widget, and now we have our text here inside. Great stuff, exactly what we want and what we need. So import the Flutter test library and replacing that. Okay, so now let us think. So my widget has title and image. So what is the problem that we want to test? We want to see if we need a sized box or not, and depending, we don't show the text if we don't have a text. That is what we read here. But didn't we say we needed body text in general for these things? Wait a second. Why is that not anyway required? And then we would just remove that, because there would be always a text, right? And who is using that? The landing page 3 times. And it always receives a text, and it's not late. It needs to be there. So probably there's not even the necessity to test something. So let's run all the tests quickly again with the data. Okay, because this one is broken at the moment. So get rid of that and rerun. So, and if this is the case, here should be 100% now. It seems that the coverage is not cleaned. Why not? Coverage. Do I have to remove that? Seems to be an IntelliJ problem, like coverage. Activate coverage view. Yeah, I searched that one. Where is that? The coverage view. Let me quickly look. We have active tool windows. No. Coverage notification. Active tool windows. View mode. Huh. Where is this coverage window? There. Nothing to show. That's probably because of the tooling that we use, sadly. So the package is not working as expected. So this one. So maybe that's a problem. Okay, anyway. But I believe with that, we don't even need to push that because it cannot be empty. So what we can do is removing that, even though that a test still is a good idea. So maybe what we can do is keeping the test and writing here refactor. The text for onboarding slides has to be provided. It is not optional because there should always be a text visible. Good. No worries, Ayush. Ayush. So hi, easy. Okay. And with that, now what we could still want to do is testing that a little bit. So because we already started with it. So let's create a test widget again. And what we want to test is if this widget comes into the tree, it should display the body text, the headline, and an image. Display, body text, headline, and an image. So convert to single quote. Here are some problems, but await pump widget. Was it not pump? Let me quickly look. Tester. Await tester dot pump widget, and now we need a widget, and the widget that we want is probably, so what we could do is just using the onboarding slide widget, create it and pass everything inside that comes here into the play. So the image asset path could be just an empty string. The headline text is like test headline, and the body text would be test body text. So all in all, we have that. Const modifier, fine. Single quotes. I maybe have just to getting started to always use the single quotes instead of the double quotes. It's just a bad habit from my German keyboard. Okay, now we have that. And we want to test if all of that is visible somewhere. So we want to get the widgets there. The question is it really a useful test? And I would say probably not, because it's just visualization, right? And we worked on that. So maybe it would be even better to create a golden file test. Okay, you know what? Let's do one of these tests and afterwards let's create a golden file test, because I believe that would be the better option. And I believe this would be now failing, right? Or no, we push it. No, it should work. Or oh, we get an error. The following thrown, the text widget, inherited alphabetic decoration, text decoration none. I'm pretty sure because it tries to access the theme and it does not exist. When the exception thrown, the relevant error causing widget was text. Where's the problem? Family inherit the following assertion was thrown building text test headline. Where's the problem? No directional widget found. Okay. So let us quickly wrap that in a material widget. No. Okay. Something like that. We still get errors, that's fine, but it's different, or inherited, alphabetic, no directional widget was found. Huh. Okay, so let's Google for that, because it's a very interesting error. Flutter widget test, no directional widget was found. So Stack Overflow, what do we see here? Main material app, widget build, scaffold, center, okay. Doesn't know whether the text is LTR or RTL, okay. Or you can just wrap the round text with a directional widget. And the purpose of that is blah, 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 okay. As LTR, I could, that's interesting. Okay, so let's wrap that, or try that to wrap that if this is really the problem. So, or is there like a text direction? No, okay. So let's remove the material one and wrap this one with this directionality widget. Adding the text direction, which is LTR for now. Sorry for everyone who likes RTL, it's no different for me. Okay, but now we get a different error, unable to load the asset. That's true, because this asset is empty string, and obviously that doesn't exist. It's a very good question. How can we test that now that there is an empty asset? Is it even possible according to our to our work. So if we check the image, what do we see here? We have an image asset, which always have an image. Okay. So what we could try, how can we add an image here? So I would like to have a test image somehow. Can I add that directly here in the test? Flutter test. And the error is unable to load asset. Let's see. Ensure initialized. Okay. Config configuration. Config load. Config get client ID. There is a Flutter. No. An application, but in test it throws error unable to load asset. And then here, final configuration load, expected config get client ID. No, then default pub spec Flutter property is set to null and indentation. Okay. Is that in the test or is that in general? No, for him it works. Okay, so he directly takes the same asset. Interesting. So you can use the same asset. That would be fantastic. Let me quickly check. So we have the whole asset folder inside. So I could just take step 1, for example. So I try to use now exactly the same thing. So we go up here on the landing screen and we have this image steps. It's even a class, which is just defined here, unfortunately. So let's take that one and go to our test again and add that one here. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's green actually. Interesting. So it accesses the asset from the folder. I'm pretty happy with that. That's surprising. Okay, so now we have the first test running, but this test actually don't test anything because we don't really expect something. The only thing that it does, it's creating our widget tree and showing us the onboarding slide and doesn't, or it wants to be successful with that. So that's perfect, but it's not really a test yet. So what we want to do is, for example, we want to search something. And at the moment we want to actually find some messages. So we use these finders. So we have pumping of the widget and afterwards we want to find something. And the text would be the same thing like here. So what I will do is extract that quickly. So headline, that's correct. And this one will be, no, extracting it. That will be the body text. Was it body text 2? Not completely sure. Can I do? Here's a bit too much red, so how is that possible? Const over final for prefer const. Okay. So, and this one is body text. Good. And why do we do that? Because we want to find the title, so that's headline. And we have the body text. And headline should then be also the headline text, right? To make it more specific. Okay, and now with these finders, we can expect things. So like verifications, like expect that the title finder finds exactly one widget. Find one. Zack. And this one is the message finder, and also this one wants to find exactly one. And the best part is now we can even find also the image probably. So let me check what we can check from the find method. Ancestor by element, by key, tooltip, type, by widget, image provider. Interesting. What can we search for image? He searched for an image provider. Interesting. So let's read quickly. Finds image and fade in image widgets containing image equal to the image argument. Sample code. Find image, file image with the file inside. Okay, so we can directly specify that we need to find one image actually. So that would be, in our case, this asset image here. just adding it like that. No. The argument type image cannot be image provider. That's true. So the image provider is asset image, right? And inside of here, what do we have to pass? Asset name, bundle, and package. So the asset name is this one. That would be that part. And this one can be gone, I guess. So, and then obviously we can expect that there is one, the name is of course the wrong one, image finder. We can expect that one image is found, so finds one widget. So let's run that. Cluck, cluck. Perfect. So all of them are working. And now just to verify that our tests are really working, we want to find no or find nothing at one place. And now it should fail. So, and that's where test-driven design would come from, because we would try to first fail the tests going into refactoring and then do all the stuff. But as you can see, yeah, I was very sluggish with that. So my apologies, that was really bad from me. So I will try to improve that for the future. But you know, whenever I'm in the live stream, I think, it's just for fun, so I can do whatever I want. Okay, but now we have to test widgets. And I was talking already about a golden widget test, because we are pretty, let's say we test only the positive cases, right? And we test actually only if we see some widgets, which is like, well, we created that screen, so why shouldn't we show those images at the moment? Obviously, we help now our colleagues that they will be sure that this needs to be always true. So if they change something inside of here, this needs to be true, else somewhere else it will break, maybe. Okay, but I talked about the golden widget tests or golden image tests. So let's quickly search for testing. And I'm searching for, let's see if we find them directly. No, integration test, this is part of this. Project, directory structure. No, this is self-running test with the Flutter driver. No. I'm looking for golden image tests. Golden image. Let's see. No. Are they outside? Did I miss that somewhere? That they are replaced or getting outside? To widget testing. Is it not golden image test? Golden image test Flutter. I'm pretty sure that exists. Golden image file. Golden file test. If the Flutter build golden file test failure, this typically means that an image change has landed without being triaged. Golden file images should be triaged in pre-submit. Matches golden file. I think that's it. Why did... Okay, it's a golden file test, so maybe that's the problem. Golden file test, Flutter. Asserts that Finder Future or UI image matches the golden image file identified by key with an optional version number. For the case of Finder, blah, 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 okay. Find text save matches golden file save.png. Snapshot tests with Flutter App Unite. Does it have a different name here? Is it snapshot? Snapshot. Using the camera. Golden file. Okay, I'm a bit surprised. I thought file comparator matches reference image. The term golden file refers to a master image that is considered to true rendering of a given widget, state, application, or other visual indication captured. The master golden file that are tested against can be created, updated by running Flutter test or update goldens on the test. Okay. So would it be possible then? I don't know. Can I now just do? It's an expect later. It's like matches, golden file, and then key. What do you want? An object. Matches reference image golden file comparator, which acts as a backend for this matcher, which is the default golden file operator implementation Flutter test. So it's a finder or UI matches the. Okay, let's try that and say key. So Martin Kamleitner, let's see, you did it already, blah, 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 okay. Let's write a golden file test, expect later find by type my responsive grid. Aha, okay. So we need a finder for it, and that is what we pass in. And then it's just the name of the file. Okay, fair enough. So then we take that, we replace that. Await, expect later, find by type. We add our onboarding slide. And then we can say, I'm not sure if Goldens is a good name, but let's see. So that would be then onboarding slide.png probably. And instead of Goldens, let's call that snapshots. By the way, you would not do that with all the widgets, but it helps you quite a lot if you want to make sure that your widgets don't change from the view. So they look always exactly the same. We can go here, and now we just have to execute that command that we found, Flutter test update goldens. So all tests parsed. So if we check now, snapshots, here we go. Okay, and now they are in out. Yeah, it's the question where we want to have all these snapshots actually. We could keep them residing directly here. I think that's maybe a better idea. So rerun that quickly. So. And the funny thing is we can now watch this PNG and it looks like this. And you would say now, hey, our app don't look like that. And that's true. Because here is no styling or theming inside, right? Because we did not pass that inside of this onboarding slide. So that's why it looks so strange. But what we could do to test and verify that, what would happen if we remove, for example, a container from here and would say, okay, that's everything we do. And we run now our tests again without the update task. Then we can see it's getting yellow with that, hey, your image is not matching what we get here. And the reason for that is because there is a block missing. That's pretty cool, actually. So with that, we have at least a very basic support for these kind of things, like being sure that nothing has changed from the original view. But usually these kind of tests you usually do for a whole screen. Like you do it once for a whole screen, and then you know exactly that if something changed there, you will have to update your snapshots. Also, that is sometimes really annoying because if you have to change a view, you always have to update this golden snapshot test. So it's not always very happy for everyone. I will add them now because I believe why not? We can do it. So how do I add this file now? Yeah, perfect. Good. So testing. Tested the onboarding slide view with a golden image test. push that. And now we go to the next one. So what is next? What is still broken? I think there was the landing page and the L10N Dart. The L10N Dart is difficult for me because it's generated. So I don't know what would be the benefit to test that. So it is an extension for a build context. App localization X. L10N application locations of this. So I am more in favor to exclude that from the testing part. But for that, I'm not completely sure how we would do that. So there's the path to the coverage. I mean, the very good company has made very good a lot of projects, right? So company, open source project or GitHub. Because I believe they have a lot of things there. Here we go. So maybe we can see how they tested this part. So very good analysis, very good coverage. Path, exclude. Okay, so we can exclude that if we want to. But I would like to see if they do that actually. So let's have a look what they have for packages, and we search for a Flutter package. Mockingjay, a package that makes it easy. Okay. Very good performance. CLI. Do they have anything? Huh. Sadly, they don't have a real project that we can take a look into. So probably the best case would be to exclude it then. So if we go to the exclusion, that would mean we have here that in the version. So that means we have to go to the GitHub part. Nope. GitHub workflows main.yaml. Very good workflow Flutter package. This is fine. No, it's that part then. No, this is MD. It executes a whole different package from somewhere. Pull request template. Ah, okay, and this is the template for GitHub. Got it. On pull request and on push. I think one of them is a bit too much. But anyway, not so important. Now we have that. The Flutter version seems to be a bit wrong, but that's also fine. Flutter package.yaml. So does that mean I have to copy that more or less? So let's head over to this. What is that? Very good workflows. So we are here. And I'm premium workflows. They are here. And that being said, in the very good workflows, we have this. Checking for format. Okay. So probably we have to copy that whole thing. Is it allowed to copy? Let's quickly have a look into the, yeah, it's MIT, great stuff. So on jobs uses with, and now I can pass in that whole thing, probably. Let's see. On name, so the name will still in Ruby. We have on test optimization, test recursion, test channels, required false. So we have jobs, we don't need that anymore, and on can be maybe also gone. Not sure. I believe we removed these ons for now. Fair enough. Then we have the jobs. We build the inputs in the directory, take Ubuntu latest. I think we can also install the plugin. Apps writing and working in Ansible. Nope, we don't install that. Ignore. So then we have the steps. GitHub checkout, that's fine. Here we inputs Flutter version. So how do we get the inputs here actually? Ah, maybe we don't have to copy that. Wait. We have the inputs with the with part. Can we pass in the with? So for that, we read again the workflow. GitHub, workflows, Flutter package. And if we have the exclude part, yeah, the exclusion is really a cover exclusion. It is an input that we can pass in. So, and that would mean we exclude from us the L10N. And it's not glob pattern, so it could be that this doesn't work. So, everything else looks quite well. Very good tests. So let's try that. CI CD. Nope, sadly not. Let's go quickly to the Emojipedia. Just a small thing, but I like that, so I do it. Let's copy that. Check. Exclude the automated generated L10N files. So that would mean everything that is inside of lib L10N. So how would I say that? That would be lib L10N. Or just using stars like so. Everything that is inside. Yeah, like so. Probably. Do I need that? Let's remove that and let's try it like this. So in the worst case, we have some running pipelines now that are failing, but that's fine. That's fine. So it's lib L10N. Okay, so we could use that, but let's see. Maybe it works directly. Did that trigger something if we pushed it? We committed it? We have not pushed it. So let's see. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, the build is running. We wait for Flutter and the tests. I'm really curious now. Okay, the build is This can be gone. This we need later. Test Flutter we did. Is there more inputs that we can give? Is there something that I misread? Coverage excludes requires false. Type string. Okay, and the default's stable. Working directory. Min coverage. Test optimizations. Okay. What does test optimizations does? Test optimization. It's up here. Interesting. And I forgot to add the timer again. So analyze is good, formatting is good, dependency is good. Tests are failing even. Oh, huh? Why so? One widget whose rasterized image matches golden image slide. Actual widget extra. Ignoring offstage widgets. Could not be compared against non-existent file. Non-existent file. Ah, that's true. That is true. very good, very good. Good point for the tests. Yeah, that was a mistake. And so now how can I do that? I will use the message that we had before for that. Commit the whole thing. Now I will try to take these two and only squash these two. So, getting them in, okay. And now we will force push. I'm not sure if we should run all the build pipelines like for push and pull, like for both. It feels like a bit too much. I think for the pull request that's enough, because I will always do it in the pull requests. So exclude that, put that together, and squash also these two, just to keep the history a bit more clean. And force push, done. So, and hopefully they cancel the old ones. I have just one and it's queued. Perfect. And while this is building now, I will quickly head over to the toilet. Just give me 1 second. So, back in business. All right. So how does it work? Set up the tests. Process ended. Red. Did it again not find the widget? Slide. Could not compare to a non-existent file. I was okay with it the first time, but now I don't get it. I mean, the test is there, right? Locally it runs, so it could be that it doesn't identify this image somehow. But why? When the exception was thrown, this was the stack fail. Okay. Exactly one widget with type onboarding site ignore off stage. Can I see the changes? I can see it. Landing screen, snapshot, onboarding style. But maybe he uses a different place. Do I have to... I use at the moment like that the path is from here. Do I maybe have to make something like that? Would that still work locally? Yeah, because I believe the problem here is that the it takes it from the root path somehow. This is just a feeling, but yeah, let's have a look. So, and it would be amazing to get now finally the build pipeline green, because then we can finally merge also all the other things. And then we make a clean project here again. I hate it if the pipeline is red. That's not good. Not on main. Still failing. Interesting. Why is it now failing? It still says that the widget is not there. Could not compare to a not existing file. Snapshot onboarding slide. But this is now also wrong again. Nah, that's something random. The problem is I have no access to the build machine. I think when we would do that on CodeMagic, we would have a better option here. Optimize, test, randomize, ordering, random. That's all good, but I don't understand. Maybe through the optimization? Is that a problem? What would happen if I do that? In our CLI terminal, execute. Coverage. Oh, we have also the coverage. Could not find the option named optimization. So it seems to be something random. Okay. There happens too much magic behind the scenes. I believe it's the problem that we have too much CodeMagic stuff. Is there maybe from the very good CLI, is there an issue open with the optimization? Aha, go. Yes, so much to that. Wolf and Rainer, thank you very much. That's exactly my issue. Great stuff. Yeah, with that, we remove the golden file test again. So we could now do it with our own CI CD, but as I said, I want to stick with the CodeMagic one, with the one from very good CLI. So I removed all that and mentioned that. Cancel. What I also want to do is, yeah, push, got it. Very interesting that this is coming up. It's like 10 days ago, so very new. Funny. Okay, but we tried it. That's fine. At least we found something out. That's good. So we are again on a very good track. Can I make that like that and put that on top of me like this? Yeah, it's still not amazing, but yeah, something like that. Okay, can we make that one very narrow? So, no, keep it. Okay, fair enough. Then we have this test. To get the coverage, L10N is now ignored. Did that work actually? So we will have to find out. Dun, 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 dun. Good, and in between I can already write the test for the landing page itself, because there we have some code missing, right? We have these two buttons that we can press and there is functionality underneath of it. So how can we make that easily possible to test? What some companies do is creating like view models, things that take completely control over what happens on the screen. Actually, I would like to do that on our state stuff. So that means when we have a qubit, for example, I would like to put all the logic inside of these qubits. That would mean, the error is occurring. So let us check. No, unfortunately, it's still there. So let us giving that. And inside of our workflow, we will have to include that somehow. Is that maybe an array? No, it's a string, right? I believe it's a string, if I read that correctly in the workflows. So, coverage exclusion required, it's a string. Yes. Okay, then we have that too. And another CI/CD problem fixed, so ignoring that. So squashing that. So, but hopefully now we have that out. In the meantime, landing page. What do we have here? There we have also this part, and there we have the landing page.dart from the auth. Line 22, 23, and 115. Okay, let's start with going to the landing page, search for the wrong key. No. Go to line, navigate, Command L. Aha, perfect. Good, so it's the set state part that is currently not tested. How would we test that? We would have to set the state once and then run the whole thing. And now the problem occurs that I think we should refactor it back to a block part. Let's see if we can do that. So I would like to avoid the init state functionality because it's very hard to test, I believe, at listener. And then we have to test that the listener has been executed. So we need to swipe actually, I guess, inside of the test. But I think it's very interesting to do. So keep it for now and let's try to fix that with a proper test. So Command T. No, we don't have a test file yet. So in auth, we have the landing page.dart. And this gives us a main function. And inside of here, we have a test widget where we set up the landing page. Why is main? It's void main, of course. We have to provide everything. Import the test, getting that already. Make that single quote and got rid of that. Good. Okay, so now we have to pump the widget of the landing screen. And if we have done that to test the init state, I think we are pretty fine, but the problem is the set state. That means we have to swipe the top part of the widget, right? Can we test that without the UI? Probably, but I want to test it proper. So we test it with the UI. What does that mean? So first of all, we need to pump await tester.pump widget. And inside of that widget, we want to have a landing page. So now, that's that. We can make that a constant, fair enough. Do we have to pass something? No. If we run that now, do we run already into troubles? No, that seems to be fine, but only 2 tests have been run. That's also weird, right? We have more, I believe. Onboarding app test. onboarding display and the app test with the render. So somehow this one was not part of the tests. So all tests don't test all tests. Why not? Test widget, some text. So onboarding slide. Because the naming convention. Aha. Underscore test, of course. Page. Where's the underscore? There. Good. So that is very important. So let's see what the test says. So now it's red. Okay, great. I like that because we don't have anything surrounding it. And that's usually not possible. So we need app localizations off. That means it wants to translate something. And maybe we don't even have to remove the L10N now because we use the localization in our test. And with that, it could be that we even don't need that. Okay, so what are the meanings of that? That means we need the surrounding app part. So if we think about the app, there in the view app, we find these localization delegates. And I believe it needs this supported localizations and this app localization delegate. So that means we need to surround it with a material app. So there will be in the future, we will probably have some kind of test utils, but not now, because for now we just need it at one place. But if you think about it, this material app part with the localization, with that specific localization, we need multiple times because a lot of widgets will rely on that. We don't want to recreate everything all the time. So we wrap that with a material app. Getting that has not a child, right? What has it? Home. And I'm curious if this is even necessary. I think we have to read later a little bit because I believe it is possible to not even use a material app for that we can have the locals differently there. So what do we need? We need the localization delegates, which is an iterable, and that has the app delegate, this one. So, and now let's see if we can run the test again. And it's green. Perfect. So with that, we have the language inside with the localization delegate. This one finds all the translations, and that is a very good thing already. So if we check that now, we can see what happens here. That is created. All of that worked. And that's already quite some success, honestly, because with that we have already our first tests running at least. But now we need to make a real test, right? It's not, it doesn't tell us anything what we are testing. So what could we test? What would be a good test? We could change the different languages to see if all languages are correctly translated, but that would be not really necessarily helpful because the languages are pretty static. And if we change that via OTA or something like that, we would maybe even make more problems than we would solve. So that would be not a good idea to test translations. But we wanted to test the swipe behavior, right? So let us write a little bit more domain driven. So what do we want to test? When the user swipes the onboarding slides, let me check quickly what happens then. Then add listeners, set state, and then we get the current page. So the current page gets updated. Then the current page gets updated. Good. Is that possible? Yeah. Cool stuff. So as you can see, Flutter is amazing because, or better, Dart is amazing because if you have two strings and you just make a line break, it completely understands it and is happy with that. Doesn't complain about it. Great stuff. Okay, so I have landing page and now we have that in place. So how can we swipe that now? First, we have to find the upper part, which would be the page view, I'm pretty sure. So let us go here. we have that. So we have to find first something. So const, yeah, the page view equals find dot by type probably, or by widget, and the widget is a page view. So find by, why is it complaining? Const variables must be initialized with a const value. Okay, then don't make it a const, make it var or final. Good. And the page view is not okay. Do I have to do it like that then? Let us quickly check how we did it on the onboarding, just to make sure. Okay, we didn't have a widget there. Okay. So if we have that page view finder now, we would like to swipe that. And now I have no idea how to write the test, right? Because I have never done that with swiping, or I have done it, but in a video a long time ago. So how do I check now how to test that easiest? So I go to Flutter project, because they have in their packages, if we search for packages, Flutter, and go to tests, and widgets, then we will find here inside probably the page view. Scroll simulation tests, revert page view scroll physics to match Android. Okay, so there is something. And what can we do? So there seems a clamping scroll simulation. Okay, check initial clamping scroll situation. Okay, not necessarily what I wanted. Page view. It's the only thing in the comment. Is there anything else like page? Oh yeah, there it is. Page view test. Great. And probably they have done that. Like there's a directional, we pump the widget in the main test widgets, respects find child index callback. That's fine. Page view resize from 0 size. Okay. Test when change the page through the controller when 0 size viewport. Page controller cannot return page while unattached. Controller test. We pump a tab, then we tap on something on the text. Lock clear, and now tester drag. Look at that. So that is exactly what I searched for. With the tester drag, we can now take that and move it around, and we can also search by type, which is pretty cool. So that means we can here change it by type, remove these parts here. Now we know that this is the finder type that we need. And now what we can do is awaiter test dot, what did we do? Drag. Find by type the page view by a certain offset. So, and in the offset we have X and Y, and we want to move the X axis. So, and we want to move it, let's take 20 also here and 0, because they know it, right? So with that, we have moved it now. And what we expect here is that the value has changed. So, and what would be the outcome if the value changed? In our specific case, we create now the free onboarding screens. So what we now see is we need to find a text now. So we wait again, tester.pump. We want to wait till the animation is done and it's moved. And afterwards, we have to find something, const text finder. And this one finds dot text. And now we should find a specific text. And if we have dragged and dropped it, we now want to see on the screen the second part. But now wait, this would be that we test the page view, which would be not the case, right? We don't want to test the page view. What we need the value for is actually this little dot down here. So we would need to understand which one of these, because that would be the outcome, which one of these is the active one, like the first one, the second one, or the third one. So how could we do that? We check again. The current page is used only to change that, right? Current page, and this down here, active page index. So we need to understand the progress indicator dot and which one of them would be active. So what we can do is we could find again by type this test here. So we find by type, adding this one, and make that final quickly. And these are our progress indicators. Well, we probably have to import that, fair enough. So, and before I go now further, I would like to make here a breakpoint and see what is inside here. So we expect something, and what we expect is that the progress indicators are free. Dot length, description, add hit value. Is that not in a iterable? I know it's a finder. All candidates dot length is free. So that is what we expect, right? And this one is yellowish. The member can only be used within instance map for subclass finders. Yeah, that's fine. I just want to make a breakpoint. It could be even broken, because now what I want to do is debug quickly that test here. And now what we can do is looking inside of the widgets. And the cool thing is we find 3 of these progress indicators, and one of these values has changed now probably. So widget finder, 3 widgets with type. Yeah, so it found the 3 widgets. That's pretty cool. But I can unfortunately not see them here inside, and I cannot really do something from it. But what I can try is I can evaluate the expression. And let's see what we get. Only that. So, and if we say all candidates, like marking that, what do we get? Charging iterable, pre-filled result. Geez, there's a lot of stuff inside. Growable list, progress indicators, all candidates. Okay, maybe that is just not the right, right thing to test for. So what would we have on that? Nothing. It's a bit unlucky. I hoped a bit more. Okay, progress indicators. What do we get here? We have add, evaluate, hit, testable. We get all candidates? Okay, let's first see if the test would run green. No, expected 3 but got 200 something. No, that's not what we want. So probably not the best test here in our case. How can we test now that? I would like to get the information from the progress indicator. And what we want is actually the second one, right? Because the second one is the most interesting for us. So can we get somehow progress indicators dot add 1? And what can we do with that? Description first, hash skip offset, evaluate, hit testable. Wait, we can try to rerun that debugger and run that too in our code. So if we go again, evaluate, yeah. What would we get? Exactly 1 widget. Index 1, tester, widget tester. Ah, that is the problem. Of course, we would not get free. What do I do? So what we need to use is this finds widgets, and then we have to pass in how many. So we would find free. Do that away and go for crash at the moment. So what's the problem? Finds widgets. Finds n widgets. Yes, and then we have free. So probably that would be green for now. And yep, perfect. Okay, so we find 3 widgets. That's already good. But what we need is one of them needs to be active. And how do we get this value out of it? I know that this is possible, but I think we don't check for the... What is the good thing is we could check that this one has a different width, right? And I believe that is one of the major difference, and the color. So can I check the type? If I get the element here, progress indicators add 2, No, 1 would it be, because index. So that would be the active or currently active progress indicator. Would be this one, const, or better final. And what would be what we need to find from that? Find by text, by widget ancestors. Semantic labels by topic. So we can test the color and the width, I think, from it, right? So if we check once more the onboarding slide and the progress dots. So we have the active page slide. What is changing there actually? Is active commands the width and the color. So Flutter widget test, check width. That's not the problem. How to test Flutter different screen size, not the problem actually. Packages, Flutter tail widget inspector, size box. Okay, let us go back to the flutter.dev website and here inside searching for tests again. And here we should get the widget tests. Tap drag handling scrolling, no, just introduce. What do we have? Test a pump, search for our widgets using Finder. We found our widget already. Matches, okay, this is just to find some widgets. Complete example. Not what I need, sadly. Find widgets, handling scrolling, tab creation. Recipes. Find with a specific key, find a specific widgets instance. Okay, not really helpful for that what I need. Maybe here is something more. Find text, Alabama finds nothing. Page view. Pump and settle, pump and widget. No, this is just to get more things. Hey, Batlomage. Nice to see you. Hope you are well. So, I hope you had a very good day and started already perfect in your weekend. K-state length, find Georgia. So if you ask yourself what I'm doing here, I'm currently working on this screen here. And we implemented this nice little buttons down here. And I would like to test it. And what I want to test is this animated controller. And here inside, there is a width and a decoration. And what I want is I want to test this color and the width actually from that. And now I'm searching for a possibility to do so. Like I think semantic would be an option, something like that. So what I could do is inside of this, so on this progress indicator, we could find something. Actually, we could, instead of searching for the progress indicator, searching for the animated container, because that would be nearly the same, right? And if we take now these progress indicators, which will be more a list of, and I can also say here directly add one, which would be the second one. Now we have my active page indicator. And this one, I think it was something with semantic or something. Wait, we have the inspector. I forgot completely about that. There we can see the widget tree, and with the widget tree, we could have a look, run a new debug session to reconnect. Aha, okay, fair enough. Let's start that one, create. I completely forgot about that. because then we can see what exactly we want to test for or what we are searching for, and maybe we can then look better for it. We still wait for the build, I'm sorry. So what do we see? We have the onboarding slide, fair enough. Page view, onboarding slide. We don't nearly, well, we are not really interested in the page view, that's fine. We are interested in these animated containers, actually. And now let's see the detailed tree. And here we have box constraints. We are not so much interested in them, but there is a container inside, blah, blah, blah. Background decoration. Okay, the color is here. So we could test that at least. So, and the width, where's the width set? There's a lot, there is a container inside, which has also just a color. Border radius, render objects, size. Interesting, why? Where is the knowledge of this animated controller? It has a width of 385, which cannot be true, huh? The whole thing has that width. The progress indicator dot has 32, 16, 16. Okay, perfect. So 32, the progress indicator has the width. How does that look in the detailed? 32 would be the number, right? But this one has no size at all. 24. And 8. Aha, box constraint it is. So we need the box constraints from it. And then we get the width. And the width is 24. Fair enough. So how do we get the box constraints? Flutter, test widget, get box constraint, or test box constraint. Dealing with box constraint, unbound constraints, that's not it. That's just way too less. Flutter, dealing with box constraint, Flutter widget tests, Flutter Institute. Let's see what they wrote. Maybe there is more. Submitted, expected, equal. Okay. Tester tab is true. I'm a bit surprised that this is so hard. I actually thought that is way better documented, but it seems not necessarily. Good, some book. How to set, how to test. So Flutter, how test with. Set the device, that's something else. How to test widget different screen sizes, not sure, but. So binding window. This is just to bind the window for the whole widget. We find that, that's beautiful. Test a binding. Set surface size. List generate, stuff happens. Testable will make testable widget, okay. Set surface size, okay, that's unfortunately not it. Okay, no information, so we have to find our solutions ourselves. So then, in that case, let's see where we are. No, inside of this one, Command T. So we have this page activation. So how can we get information from all that? All candidates would be not it. Description, no. Last hit. First at. Let me quickly check something. If I go to find, what can we get from find? By icon, by type. Is there something with box constraint or with? No. Widget with test, widget predicate, element predicate, common finders. The problem is I don't want not only find one element. I want to test. I mean, that there are 3 is no problem. I want to know, and this is also not possible anymore. Expect active page indicator. And then I expect something and finds 1, which is fine, but I want to also know if the width is something. Flutter test matcher with, maybe I find something like that. The matcher library. Custom matcher is format exception, is list, is not negative, is not null, is state unsupported. State information collapse whitespace contains pair all in order created then. Let's search quickly in Google, maybe that is better. So let's search for Flutter test width of widget. Intrinsic size. Widget test has get size, final size, expect text, tester gets size, find by. Aha, the tester has it. Perfect, finally. So the tester.getSize, and then we can put the finder inside, which is for us the active page indicator. So we have the final size of the widget, and size.width needs to be 24. And if this is the case, and then maybe we find also final color, and then we can say tester.getColor, maybe? No. Get, what do we have else? Size, bottom left, semantics. Aha, we can get the semantics from the active page indicator. And with a tad bit of luck, semantics. So, and this semantics, what do they contain? Attribute, attached, children count, decrease value, elevation, has children. Maybe it has something like color? No. Sadly not. So attributed value, attributed string. Okay, before we do that, let's quickly just run that. No, not the application, but the tests. Breaks, interesting. So actual was 16. So after the M offset, what means 16? Why is the width of the animated container 16? Ah, no, that's not good. Yeah, probably because of the progress indicator, because it could be that the page view contains an animated container. So we don't select the page from the progress indicators, the animated container, but from the page view. So progress indicator, no, different. What was the name? Let's go back. Progress indicator dot, like so. Let's try that again. Very, no, sadly not necessarily. Test failure, okay, so let's quickly do a breakpoint here again, because I want to see what is going on. So, nope, I want to have debugged. So what do we have? Size width is 16. Why is it 16? Maybe it's an add problem, or it did not navigate, but 16 is completely off. Or let me quickly check, because I think it needs to be 24, right? Flutter inspector, what do you say? So we don't take all of these, we are at this one, and the animated container of that should be 24. Even 32 in that case. This is the active one, and if they are not active, it's 16. If they are not active, they are 16. But why? So it is inactive. Okay, great. Then that means we can test that too. So if we go here, no, there, and we say that this one is 16. So what we could do is adding that with 0, put that on top, and say inactive or first progress dot, and this would be our second progress dot and our third. It's now a bit complicated, but I want to find out what the part happened here. So taking these, zack, zack, zack. And now what we can do is size first, second, third. And actually we can test all 3 of them. I think then we can also make that clean second, third. Oops. Now we test that. Second, size third. And if we do that, then we can dot width. So, and that should fail now, right? If I have that right in mind. So running, create, so, and debug. So I'm curious now. 16 actual was 32. Okay, one of them is correct. That's good. Fail, fail, fail. So now it's completely failed. That means my breakpoint was not running correctly. So click. So I'm curious which one is now the correct one. So the first one is 32. That means this one is active at the moment. So that would be a failing behavior. So that means this one needs to be 32 actually. So that would be our test. So that being said, we can cancel that quickly. And if we run this test, it should fail, which is okay. But we are on the right track finally. So that means now, how can we make sure that the second one is active? That means our offset that we swipe is not enough. Like 20 is not enough to swipe it completely. So let's take 50 and let's see where we are. Maybe we should also print the different sizes just to know it, because I don't know which one this is now. Can I give there a message or something? Yes, I can give there a reason. Perfect. So reason, the first indicator should be inactive. So same thing for here. That is now the second indicator, should be active. Should be active. And last but not least, we have the third indicator should be inactive. Run. And with that, we should get now the reason inside of our test. The following first indicator should be inactive. Okay, good stuff. So it's still too less to navigate. So maybe 50, maybe it's minus 50 is the wrong part here. So let's see. Maybe minus 50 means I push it to the left. First indicator. Let me think about. We drag the offset 50. The question is now, is the offset negative? So where do we drag to? Dragging. Attempts to drag the given widget in the given offset by starting a drag in the middle of the widget. If you want to drag to the end with a speed so that the gesture recognition system identifies the gesture as a fling, consider using fling instead. At once, if want to drag to last for a period of time. If X and Y component of offset is greater than, the gesture is broken into touch slop. Okay, Breaking the drag into multiple moves is necessary for creation to force this function to send single movement event. This touch slop. How could we see that? So x50, what would that mean? We are here 0, 0, and 50 means I move it to the right or to 50. So let's see if we make that negative, or maybe make it extreme, like 250. Let's see where we move, land there. Still the first indicator. So the offset is written in pixels, right? So that means when we move that 250 to negative, yeah, let's make that extreme again, 1000. So it's still the first indicator. So I think the negative one is really the problem. Maybe pump is not enough. Maybe pump is not enough. Maybe I have to pump and settle. Pump and settle. Let's try this one. Because with settle, we wait till all the animations are over and then we stick there. It's still wrong. Aha. Aha. 250. Okay, so with pump and settle, something changed. That's already good. Good sign. And it's crashing. Okay, the first indicator. So that is too less to move it. How about 500? Is that enough? Yeah, with 500 we moved enough. What would be if we do it twice? Then the third indicator should be damaged, right? Okay, let's do it once more. Second indicator should be, aha, perfect. So the first indicator is inactive, the second part is inactive, and the third one is active now. Cool, so with that we have tested that the second indicator is active. We can remove that, stop and rerun. When the user swipes the onboarding slides, then the current page gets updated, or the progress indicator, the second progress indicator is active. Great. Good. Great. And with that, we should have the finally a test. That's really sad. So test. Added a test for the landing page swipe behavior. For the added a test for the no. The test makes sure that the page view is behaving, that the progress indicator dots behave correctly. So, fair enough. Maybe this is also a way to complicated test and we don't need to do it this complicated. What we also could do, and that is much easier, when the user opens the first page, then he should see two buttons and the progress indicator dots. Good. Now it will complain that it is too lengthy, so we make it the enters again, make it a bit cleaner. Good. And in between here, we again pump the widget. And now what I would do is taking that part out and call it up here like a new function that returns us whatever such a pump widget wants to. Or what we could do is just returning this widget here. Subject widget, we call that. Something like that. Not sure if this will work, so please bear with me. So check. And we put that inside here. and we save the line of code. Yeah, beautiful. And the same thing we do now here. We can say await tester.pump widget, and we pump our subject. Why subject? Because this is the system under test at the end. Good. Questions so far? Yep. I convert quickly to single quote, and what we also could do, we pumped the widget, we dragged it, and now I just want to find the widgets and check if they are correctly. So what we want to find, 2 buttons and 3 progress indicators. So how can we do that? I think we did that already with the by type. I think that it was pretty easy. So this is the progress. I think we don't even have to do that. Directly expect, say this one, and finds n widgets, and we say 3. That is the first test. And find, this is elevated button. Nope, don't need that. And we want to find exactly 2. And with that, we have directly our first test that tests at least the basics on this page. Maybe we can even test expect find to the headline and the subline. Like we want to find 1 image, 1 headline, and 1 other thing. And what we could do by type, and we could say we want to find at least 1 onboarding slide, right? Onboarding slide. Finds 1 widget. So that could fail now, and I will tell you why. It could be that it finds all 3 widgets already. Like, I don't know if the page view is smart enough to make that lazily loading, and I don't think so. So that means it will find 3 of them. But that's why I write this test, because now we can see it directly and we know it then. And it's not the case. So it only finds 1. That means this one is getting lazy loaded behind the scenes, which is even better because now we know that our app is also performant. Good stuff. So finally we have some tests. Look at that, isn't it beautiful? So how do we call that? Make a widget test to see that all widgets are at the right place of the landing screen. And actually we don't make it on the right place. We only check that the widget exists on the screen, which is quite a difference actually. So what do we have? Timer, 1 minute left, that's fine. 1 minute left for the next break, so don't worry, we will not finish the stream today, yet, at least. So, and now I'm really curious if the very good CLI is working perfectly fine and we get the right result here. I'm a bit proud that we do that now the right way with testing, and I'm very happy that the main branch is now fixed again and we get hopefully here a check mark instead of a red cross, because that would help us a ton, I guess. 2. And then we slowly can finish this MR here. Oh, 14 files has already changed. It's quite a lot, so usually I would never, or I would try to reduce that a lot. But I mean, we are in the first couple of commits of the project, so it can be that there is a little bit more of the tasks done, right? Okay, that's the timer. Thank you. And that is this. I probably shouldn't have a pen in my hand because I play too much with it around. Good. Have that in place. That looks really good. I'm pretty happy with that smooth solution down here. I'm really happy that we used the page view for that because it's quite easy to do. Yeah, it's much smoother. That's perfect. Love it. Love it. Love it. Good job, everyone. So get me the result. I want to see if the coverage is now on 100% or if we still have to do things. I believe we have to do things because the button clicks are not yet tested. So let's see if Very Good Company is happy with my result here. Build, 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 build. 20 seconds for free tests, not really perfect. Okay, so we still have two things to test, line 115 and 124. So let's jump. No, that's not it. Here. That means this onPressed methods are currently not tested, and it's absolutely correct because there is nothing behind that should change. But what we could do is, well, we could click the buttons at least, or what we could do is printing something or changing something. How can we test things that are not yet implemented? I have an idea. We have an unimplemented error, and why is that important? So let's throw that and do the same thing here. So that's perfect. And why is it perfect? Because now we can say following. We go to our widget test and say, okay, I think I do it after that. Test widget. When user pressed on sign in, then an error will be thrown. So that would be now a problem because usually you don't want to have something like that in place. But I think for now that is perfectly fine because we want to have exactly that behavior. So that means now we have to pump our widget again. So we get our subject here, check and check. And after we have pumped the widget, now what we want to do, let me quickly think. We want to pump our widget and now we want to press the button. So we have to find the buttons. I think we also did that already. So let's take this find method here. Up. So, okay, with that my mice lost its power. So the magic cable come into play. Hey Farhan, I'm very sorry, I didn't see your comment. Oh my goodness. There again. This is also there. Don't see anything in the chat. I just hope the best. Yeah. Okay, sorry everyone. I lost internet connection because I plugged my cable out when I plugged my mouse in. So there is always something wrong in the stream. There needs to be some problems. It would be boring if it wouldn't be that like that. Let's quickly reload and check if the stream connectivity is good. Yeah. Okay. Looks again successful. Yeah. Good. Very sorry for that. Didn't want to throw you out, but now it happened. So what can we do? Tester.tap probably. Yes. And then we say button. And now we can inline that even because it's easier and we have to wait for it. And if we tap it, what we expect, a thrown error. So let us see if we can do that. So await .tap, no, tester.tap on that. And then we tap. I'm not sure if this will work because probably now it will throw the error and we get that here. It's red, which will be not what we want. Unimplemented error, we get that, perfect. So tester.tap. Tester.tap, check for errors. I'm pretty sure that exists already. And of course Flutter. Key on tap, press me, no. Integration testing and Flutter, okay. Thank you, Mr. Singh, here for that perfect explanation. So hopefully it's really good. Testing and Flutter, comparing testing feature 1, authentication. Not really. The behavior of widgets, widget testing with Flutter. Can I tap on button, don't work? I would like to catch that error. So what I could do is try it and catch it and say on unimplemented error. And then we can say something like, okay, something like done, then it's good, you know? Can I not expect that somehow? I don't know. Wait, let's say, if I say expect and I use a anonymous function here. So this is how I would do it in React, or better in JavaScript. So let's see if this works here too. Then throws unimplement error. And I think, yeah, something like that. Up. And that would be async. Like that. And we await for that. Why can we not await? Await in return unnecessary. Okay. So probably we don't want to return. Why is that bad? 2 positional expected but found 1. Okay, there is a no. This is this. This is this. I believe this one should be outside. Test the tab. Make a semi. Yeah. Okay, cool. Whew. Okay, took a while. Just a random method. But good. If we have that, it throws an unimplemented error and it's still red. The following unimplemented was thrown while handling a gesture. Unimplemented. Yeah, that's exactly what we want. Damn. Tab. Can we... What do we get from the docs here? Hey, hello brother. Great that you are all back. Good. Dispatcher pointer down. Pointer up sequence at the center of the given widgets. Okay. Warn if missed. Default causes a warning to be displayed on the console. Silence that warning. For example, the test verifies that tapping a disabled button does not. Okay. Pointer buttons warn if missed. No. What do we have for expects? Later, sync, report, expect, call. No. The following unimplemented was thrown while handling a gesture. Flutter, gesture, throws, error, test. Yeah, that's fine. And no. Flutter error on error. Run app, run zoned, error log. Oh, I did not expect that this would be so hard. Why is it so hard to implement a tab test with an error? So it wants to provide, or it wants to avoid that this happens, but actually I want exactly the opposite. So when the exception was thrown in the stack, the question is now, does it directly throw inside of this tab? And can I avoid that somehow? Can I say, please don't? So the question would be, if this happens, we throw immediately. The question is, are that then over? I don't think so, right? We could try catch that. So try the tested tab. Then let's see if we can catch that part. I think E. Okay, and then print E. Nice. What I can do is doing the following. So we say there is an error, and we say the error equals to E. You are red. Okay, from my side, I don't mind. And then what we expect is that error is type of unimplemented or is equal. What can I put for matches inside? What do we have for matches? We have error. What did we have? Froze unimplemented, right? I think that was one. It's a matcher from Flutter test start. Is no matches Flutter test. Let's see what we get for matches that they exist. So there's the matcher library. Expect X is not, and then there should be an is, right? With matcher in Flutter, so you can use is not to negate equals matcher. Or as mentioned in the comments is true. That actually seems a bit more readable. And type of. Do we have a type of? Flutter test library configuration widget controller hit. So fake future live. Animation, controller, foundation, material, painting, physics, rendering. Don't we have the matches here somewhere? Matcher. Support for specific test expectations, such as for unit test. Custom matcher, description, matcher, the base class, string description, type matcher. Matcher subclass and support. Okay, type matcher. Unimplemented error. The question is the type matcher. Provide a type argument to type matcher and omit the name. Provide a type argument. Okay, create a matcher matches instance of type. Create a matcher matches instance of. Okay, let's try if this is the case. Nope. Where does it crash? What is that? Missing variable type for error. Try adding an explicit type or remove implicit. Is there not a type for that? Missing type, dynamic. What do I get? This is an unimplemented error. And here we have then to say on unimplemented error, catch. Like so. Don't explicitly catch error or error type that implement it. Catch error or types that implement it. So it doesn't like the on unimplemented error, sadly. Okay, so this is an error. And if this is error, then this is an error. No? What is E? E is an object. Non-nullable local variable must assigned before can be used. Okay, fair enough. Then we say it's an error. Still red. The following unimplemented was thrown while handling a gesture. No, it seems that the gesture is directly throwing it. Okay, then I don't see a way how we can test just an error case actually, because the problem is if the tab is already throwing it, it's deep inside of the library. The only thing that I could imagine is that we have a possibility to add here something, but we don't have this possibility, or that there is something else than tab, that there is take exception. What does that mean? Take exception returns an exception most recently called in Flutter framework. Okay, not necessarily what I want. Yeah, and it seems that this needs to be implemented somehow. So quite difficult to test that then. Okay, so if the button throws an error, we cannot do that via a widget test, sadly. I'm a bit out of ideas. So that means we are not allowed to do that. Test button, click a tab, throws error, Flutter. Away test widgets. Yeah, that's just the same thing we had. This is nothing else. But do we get also an error case? Flutter devs. Nope. Okay. Yeah, if this is not possible, I don't know what to do. Then we have to test it just by tapping it and it should do nothing. Oh, maybe this is also a test. So we tap it and that's it. At least it doesn't throw errors. So the question is now just if this is really a test for the coverage at the end. Add active suit. And let's see, landing is 100% covered. Okay, if this is the case, let's push that. The buttons got tapped in the test. And I should not forget that we are not finished yet with that, because if we go to the commits once more, we have to change the naming now. When the user presses this on the sign bit, then nothing will happen. Nothing happens. Great test, by the way, I love it. At least there is no error, so that is the test. So perfect. Push, fair enough. So, and with that, we finally have our merge request ready, and I can go to the first break again, or to the second break today, making some sports and things. Let's see. Getting Flutter, doing all that stuff. And in the meantime, is there anything left? What can we do on the first part? Is there anything missing? No, I think that's pretty fine. Very good. And with that, we have our onboarding screen ready. Isn't it great? Haha! Then I can go into the afternoon break and eat something, drink something, and at 13:30 we will probably go further with the next screen. Then we will think about sign in and register. I know it's not perfectly beautiful, but hey, it's the first step. So it's an MVP, right? I maybe should just exclude that little part here. See you in a sec, SR. But I will wait till the pipeline is green, because that is the real achievement now, up to merge this MR at the end. To have one last look at it and then see what we need to do. Because then the pipeline is also green for all the other pull requests that we want to create. I think that's the thing that we need. Look at that, green, check, nice, very good. Completed job. Yes, they are green. Woohoo! Okay, but before we merge now, let's quickly have a look what we have changed. So go step by step with it. So as you see, this MR is the very first one that we did. So we do a lot of different things. So this MR actually, maybe we should add more description to it because it does a lot of things. What did we change? Changes. So we have done implementation of the onboarding screen, #1. But we also improved the build pipeline to only run on on pull requests. What did we also change? We changed how we added tests, of course, but what did we else do? We added these progress dots, but this is part of the we extracted the theme and we added constants. So let's see if this stuff is still there. Type of changes, yeah. So we brought in constant file to contain all global constants. Also what we did is introducing a theme file for all for buttons and spacings. So updating that, because that is the stuff that we did. Click, 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 and click. Great stuff. And here now we can review. So that's that. We excluded L10N because we said this one is not tested by us. Then we have the theme data done. What is wrong here? We have added the light theme and removed it from the material app, which is good. So what do we have here? The landing screen itself, where we have now a stateful widget. And probably after the break, we will quickly go over that one again to change it from stateful widget. But we need the single ticker provider, so I'm pretty sure we cannot just do that. At least not easily. Yeah, no, I don't think that is a good idea to do. Controller page is equal to 0, yeah, in the worst case, and then we round that to get the right number. So then we dispose the controller to don't create memory leaks. Very good. We have the column. How big is the file in general? 144, that's fine. So which places do we have? Oh, the light turned off. So we have the column, that's fine. We don't have a save area on the bottom part, that's also fine. We expanded here the column twice. The top part is for the onboarding slides, and the second part, which is the smaller part, is for decoration, padding. This is just for the register button and for the other button. So maybe it makes sense to put all that part that is below here into a single widget that we call then something like a register bottom sheet or something like that. That would be just the bottom part here. So to make it easier to understand. But I think for now that's perfectly fine. We keep it. Good. So until now we have not made so much, how do you call it? Logic changes. We have made more UI changes, so that's why we also not have so many hardcore tests at the moment. Good. So what we would do is merging that MR now, if you don't have any additional comments, or yeah, I think we merge it. So, and the biggest reason why we merge that now is to get rid of the branch, of course, but what's more important is that the build pipeline for main is now green again. So hopefully actions that will run now on the main branch. Did we remove that? So it doesn't do that anymore, huh? Okay, so maybe this is a mistake. So can we go here? That was before like pull requests and push, right? Maybe push was necessary for master. And that would mean we have to check when we have, or we can later check when we have to run the pipeline. That we also want to have that on main running. And for our other task, we can maybe rerun this build pipeline if we get also the changes inside of here. So for that, we improving README, go to that file, improving README. And now what we want is to get a rebase on the main branch. So for that, I press Command V, 7, go to main, and rebase mine onto top of main. And if we don't see the changes, that mostly relies because the main is not updated. So, and now we rebase again. Aha, much better. So you can see this is everything that has changed in main. And this is the MR that one change that we had in our MR. So that's why I made a rebase on top of main. That means our history changed, and it tells us that all the main was already existent, and we put our things on top. Good. So if we are here, we get now just one file. That's perfect. We have that thing of the commit, and then we rerun the build. Good, and while this is running, I will go now for a little food taking, so we see us in exactly 1 hour, like 13:30 or something. Until then, I wish you a pleasant afternoon, and till later. Bye.